This is the Clavicular, the guy who literally smashes his own face with a hammer to look better. This 20-year-old went from an acne-covered teenager posting dance videos to running over a stalker with a Cybertruck on Christmas Eve, live in front of thousands of viewers. He'd been caught snorting on meth on a private jet, injected his 17-year-old girlfriend with fat-dissolving drugs on stream, and somehow just joined FaZe Clan days after nearly killing someone. But there's way more to this story than just chaos and controversy. He basically created a cult following of young men who worship him as a god of self-improvement. So how exactly did this kid go from an insecure forum lurker to the king of looks maxing? This is the story of Clavicular, the most unhinged streamer on the American internet. Braden Eric Peters, or as the internet knows him, Clavicular, came from a pretty humble beginnings, born December 17, 2005 in Florida. This kid was not winning any genetic lottery by any stretch of the imagination. Growing up, Clav had severe acne, was overweight, and by his own admission spent his entire high school year as what the looks maxing community calls a terror cell. Basically the bottom of attractiveness hierarchy. He didn't go to parties, didn't talk to girls, didn't have friends really. He just sat in his room for hours researching on obscure internet forums. See, Clav discovered this communities called looks maxing forums, places where men obsessed over facial bone structure, jawlines, cantle tails, and all the pseudoscientific stuff about what makes someone attractive. And instead of touching grass like a normal teenager, Braden went full sin into this rabbit hole. But here where it gets interesting. The kid is actually autistic, like confirmed, and maybe that's what made him so obsessed with this stuff, because while most teenagers were worried about homework and video games, Clav was measuring his skull with calipers and researching testosterone replacement therapy. At just 14 years old, this kid just started injecting himself with testosterone. Yeah, you heard that right. 14-year-old doing TRT. He wasn't going through doctors or anything, he just bought the stuff online and started pinning himself. He later admitted this in a stream, saying he just didn't care about the side effects. Now here's where the story gets wild, because Clavicular didn't just talk about self-improvement, he actually transformed himself, and the results are honestly kind of insane. In about a year, this kid went from looking like every other teenager to looking like he stepped out of a fitness magazine. But the methods he used, that's where things get concerning. Let me introduce you to something called bone smashing. Basically, you take a hard object and repeatedly strike your facial bones, your cheekbones, your jaw, thinking that it will make them grow back and stronger and more defined. Clav swears by this stuff, he claims it works, but every single medical professional says this is the only ineffective but genuinely dangerous. You can fracture bones, cause permanent disfigurement, brain damage, all of it. But does Clav care? Nope. On top of that, he's admitted to taking steroids, peptides, and here is the wildest one. Crystal meth. Yeah, he openly admitted on stream that he uses crystal meth as a stimulant to lean max because it suppresses your appetite. When fitness influencer Connor Sinan asked him about his pre-workout, Clav just started sniffing and said, yeah, just a little bit of, Kickstarter if you know what I mean. And if you thought that was bad, wait till you hear what Aiden Rose had to say after meeting him in person. Aiden literally said, I've never seen someone snort meth ever in real life. I literally witnessed Clav snort meth and I didn't know how to feel. Like, bro, this isn't your average streamer we're dealing with. Clavicular started on TikTok back in 2021, just posting cringe dance videos like every other kid, but nobody cared, so he pivoted hard and started making content about looks maxing, rating people's faces, analyzing bone structure using terms like resist maxilla and mandible projection. He rated Michael Jordan at 3 out of 10. Yeah, the guy from Black Panther apparently isn't attractive according to Clav's scientific analysis. But here's the genius part. Whether you agree with him or not, the content is addictive. Young men who felt insecure about their looks finally had someone telling them there's a system, a scientific approach to becoming more attractive. Clav wasn't just a streamer, he positioned himself as a mentor. He launched the Clavicular system, a paid course where for $50 you get access to his facial analytics board symmetry course, skincare routines, the whole thing. If you want the premium treatment that will cost you $5,000 for personal coaching from the man himself, it's basically Andrew Tate's Hustle University but for your face. By late 2025, Clav had blown up on Kick, streaming with huge names like Neon, Aiden Ross, and Jack Doherty. These marathon streams where he just rates faces, talks about ascending, gives controversial takes, they were pulling massive numbers. In November 2025, Clavicular went went viral for all of the wrong reasons. During a live stream, he injected his girlfriend with cosmetic peptides to dissolve fat. The problem, his girlfriend was 17-year-old, a minor, and here's this 19-year-old streaming himself performing what essentially a medical procedure on a teenager who can't legally consent. People were disgusted. One person wrote, "This is actually heartbreaking. A 17-year-old girl getting face filler injected by her boyfriend. This is the most evil stuff I've ever witnessed online at least 5 years." Medical professionals immediately called him out, saying this could cause some serious complications, infections, allergic reactions, disfigurement, all performed by someone with zero medical training on a literal child. But did Clav apologize? Did he take the video down? Nope. He leaned into it, doubled down on the controversy, because in the streaming world, any attention is good attention, right? December 24, Christmas Eve. Clavicular streaming in Miami, cruising around in his Tesla Cybertruck when things go completely off the rails. A guy who had apparently been stalking and harassing Clav for months jumps into the Cybertruck windshield during the live stream. Chaos erupts, someone off camera yells, "Drive, drive," and Clav does exactly that. He accelerates with this person still on the hood. Thousands of people watching this live on Christmas Eve, absolute insanity. But wait, it gets worse. When someone asked Clav if the guy was dead, his response was, quote, "Hopefully."
Is he dead? I don't know. Hopefully.
He then posted an AI-generated image of himself running the guy over with the caption, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." This man genuinely does not care. Aiden Rose immediately called him, telling him to keep recording, stay live, and most importantly, don't answer any questions. Classic damage control advice. Kick banned him almost immediately, but police showed up and somehow didn't charge him with anything, claiming it could be self-defense since his car was surrounded. And then 3 days later, the stalker found Clav and Neon on the street and threw red liquid all over them. Revenge for getting run over. The saga continues. If you thought this story couldn't get any more absurd, days after nearly killing someone on stream, Clavicular announces he's joining FaZe Clan under the name, I'm not even gonna say it on YouTube, but you can guess. The timing was incredible. 5 major FaZe members had just quit on Christmas Day, including a 14-year-old veteran, and here comes Clav sliding into the chaos. People couldn't believe it. One person said his rise has to be studied, from running over a man to running the entire FaZe Clan. Clav moved to Twitch, where his streams are still pulling over 100k views. So he's still got plans for facial surgery costing around $35,000 to maximize his appearance, even for the limb lengthening surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6", allegedly. And he's still promoting his cause, still making content, still building his empire. That's what's scary about Clavicular. It's not just one guy doing crazy stuff, it's that millions of young men are watching this thinking this is the path to success. His followers defend everything he does. They see him as proof that anyone can transform themselves, can ascend as they call it. But at what cost? He is a walking advertisement for extreme drug use, dangerous procedures, and completely reckless behavior. And somehow he keeps winning, keeps growing, keeps ascending. The question is, where does it end? Because with Clavicular, there doesn't seem to be a line he won't cross. So, are we getting a Clavicular redemption arc or a complete downfall? Who knows? With this guy, anything is possible.